Good morning to all of you. So I hope all you are fine at your places. So yes, next topic we have is physical properties of ethers. Okay, as we discussed last time, methods of preparation of ethers. So now physical properties. So in this first one we have is physical state. So how it appears, or we can say it which state it have. So first one we have talking about is lower members. Okay, so lower members, or we can say lower ethers. Okay, so like dimethyl ether or methyl ethyl ether are gaseous. That means they are present in the form of gases, and higher members, they are liquids, or we can say that they are low boiling liquids with their pleasant smell is pleasant. That means it is good smell. Okay, so next point we have is dipole moment. So as we discussed in last class that ether have bent structure. Okay, it represented like that, band structure, or we can say angular structure like water. Okay, so now due to great electronegativity of oxygen then carbon, okay, then this CO bond is slightly polar. Okay, so we can say that it is slightly polar. So we say that these ethers have some dipole moment. Okay, some dipole moment. Next point we have is boiling point. Now boiling point of ether, how they varies. So as we discussed that ethers have low polarity. Okay, so that means they do not show any association or by intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, so therefore we can say that ether have low boiling points. Okay, so ethers have low boiling point. Why? Because they have low polarity. That is why it is having less boiling points. So yes, next one we have is solubility. So now solubility of ethers in water decreases from lower members to higher members. Okay, when we are going from lower member to higher member, so their solubility is decreases. Okay, so that means for lower members solubility is good, but for higher member solubility is not so much good. Okay, so we can see that this is because as the size is increases, okay, or we can say size of alkyl group is increases, so what they do, they decrease the tendency of forming hydrogen bonding. Okay, they decrease the tendency of hydrogen bonding. That is why it is higher members are less soluble. So if you are taking example of ethoxyethane and butane 1-ol. Okay, ethoxyethane, that means here are also 4 carbon, and butane 1-ol having also 4 carbon. So they both are, we can say that soluble in water almost same extent. That means if ethoxyethane is dissolving 7.5, so the butanol is about 9, okay, per 100 ml milliliter in water. So it is near about, okay. So if we are talking about pentane now pentane, as you can see, now it become higher member. So pentane is immiscible in water. That means not soluble in water. Next point we have is density. So remember that all ethers are lighter than water. Okay, density, all ethers are lighter than water. Clear? So these are the some physical properties of ethers. So next topic we have is chemical properties of ethers. Okay, so ethers are quite, we can say that, inert, okay, and stable compounds. So these are not generally react with other substance, we can say. So under specific conditions they undergo chemical reactions. Clear? So first one we have is reaction of ethereal oxygen. Okay, so in this first point we have is action of air. So what does it mean? When we are taking some ether, so if I'm taking here CH3 CH2O CH2 CH3, okay, so when we are exposed this ether in the sunlight, okay, in the sunlight, so this ether slowly react with oxygen to form hydroperoxide, or we can say peroxide. So we can say that here we have CH3, this as it is, CHO, CH2, CH3. Now this oxygen is attached with that like that. Okay. So this is the formation of, so if you want to write the name of that compound is 1-ethoxy ethyl hydroperoxide. Okay, hydroperoxide, as you can hear OO. So that is why we are writing here peroxide. Clear? Next one we have is, second reaction is action with concentrated acid. Okay, so also we can say that here is a formation of oxonium salts. So if we are taking some ether, like I am writing general reaction, that is ROR, when we are treating it with sulfuric acid, which is ice cold. Okay, so oxygen atom in ether molecule has 2 lone pair, as you know, okay, of electron. So ether act as now Lewis base, okay, and it is easily dissolved in this concentrated H2SO4. So I'm writing here concentrated, and to form oxonium salt, that is, now here positive charge becomes on the oxygen atom and it will give 1 electron pair of itself to the formation of that bonding. So with this, what we have next is HSO4 negative. So the name of that compound is dialkyl oxonium hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfate. Okay, so this is the formation of oxonium with the help of concentrated acid. So the next reactions we have is reaction involving cleavage of CO bond. Okay, to this first point we have is cleavage by halogen acid. What we have to do? We have to break that CO bond. Okay, so first one we are breaking it with halogen acid. So here we have is, we are taking ROR, and to this we are treating with HX. So at the temperature 373 Kelvin. So what we have is, we have here ROH. From here R is removed and we have, it is like RX. Okay, so the name of that is, as you can see, alcohol, and here we have the formation of alkyl halide. Alkyl halide, and this CO bond, we can say RO bond, is break from here, cleavage of bond. Okay, so if we are doing this reaction in the presence of excess of this, if you are taking that CHX in the excess amount, or we can write here excess of acid, so what is, so that this product which is from alcohol, this again react with that HX. So again what happened? From here this bond is cleaved, that means broke. Again 373 Kelvin temperature. So we have here formation of again RX plus water. Clear? Next point we have is cleavage by sulfuric acid. So now in this, when we are heating that ether with dilute sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, so it will easily hydrolyze and give alcohol, that is ROH. Okay, here we have 2 R group and 2 oxygen and 2 hydrogen. So here is the formation of 2 ROH. Okay, so next reaction we have is, so reaction of alkyl group. In this first point we have is halogenation. Okay, so now in this, what will happen in this, if you are taking some ether, example of ether, so that ether is reacting, or we can say reacting with chlorine or bromine in the dark. So if I am writing here chlorine in dark, okay, that is reacting in the dark to give the substituted product. Okay, and that substitution is depending upon the reaction conditions. So as I'm taking here example of diethyl ether. Okay, so when we are treating it with chlorine in dark, so here is the removal of HCl. So what we have here, CH3, CH, one hydrogen is removed from here and chlorine from here. and here is the addition of chlorine and OCH2CH3. So name of that compound is 1-chlorodiethyl ether. Again, when we are treating it with chlorine and dark, so what will happen? Again, here is the removal of that HCl and substitution of chlorine. Here as it is we have chlorine. So now chlorine is attached with that carbon and this compound is formed, which is named as 1,1-dichlorodiethyl ether. So next we have is ring substitution in aromatic ether. Okay, that means there is some element or group have to be substituted on the aromatic ethers. So first point we have is halogenation. Okay, before that we study that the groups are ortho and para directed. Okay, so we can say that alkoxys are or group are ortho and para directing. That means the substituent which is attacking on that ring is attaching whether at the ortho position or para position. So if we are doing the halogenation of, or we can say that bromination of anisole. What is anisole? Benzene ring having OCH3. Clear? So when we are doing the bromination, so I am writing here Br2 CH3COOH. Okay, so it will give us ortho and para product. So that is like that anisole, that is OCH3. Now bromine attached at ortho position plus at second product bromine is attached at the para position. So the name of that compound is, as you can see, ortho bromo, and this is anisole. Anisole. Similarly, this is the para bromo anisole. Anisole. So this is the major product we can say, and this is the minor. So why? Because this is having more symmetry as compared to that of ortho. Next reaction we have is Friedel-Crafts reaction, which we already discussed. Okay, so now I am not repeating that again. Next we have is nitration. Okay, now what is nitration? When we are treating a mixture of concentrated HNO3 and H2SO4. Okay, anisole give a mixture, then anisole give a mixture of again ortho and para nitro. So that means if we are taking here again anisole, which is benzene ring OCH3, when we are treating it with HNO3 plus H2SO4. So it will give us para and ortho product. So I am writing here OCH3 NO2 plus now at second product para nitro is present at para position. Clear? So the name of that compound we can say is ortho nitro anisole, and this is para nitro anisole. Clear? Or if you want to write the IUPAC naming of that compound, so that is methyl 2-nitrophenol ether. Nitrophenol ether. Okay. Similarly for that is methyl 4-nitrophenol ether. Clear? So it must be noted that ethers are relatively less reactive as compared to the phenols. Clear? Next topic we have is uses of ethers. So just go through from the uses of ethers. Okay, as it is used in surgery. Okay, refrigerators it is also used. Okay, so in laboratory these are also used. It are also used in perfumes and manufacture of smokeless powder. So these are the uses which you have to write it to yourself on your fair notebooks. So with this our 11 unit is completed. Okay, so write all the notes of 11 unit on your notebooks and complete your notebooks on time. Okay, so yes, that's all for today. Thank you.